Welcome back everybody to Milo and Me. Now, I've had quite a few comments about PIP and about people who are in different stages and looking for advice on what to do with the form, the assessment, etc, etc. So what I've decided to do is basically do a guide of how to apply for PIP from your initial phone call all the way through to the end. I'm going to put each episode, I'm going to try and do one once a week, and I'm going to put each episode in a playlist so it's there and you can kind of pick and choose with what you want. So I'll build the playlist over time and then hopefully we'll have a start to finish guide ready for everybody. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey of PIP, there'll be a video there for you. So, you know, you can sort of return to it if you want. So I know PIP is something for people with, you know, chronic illnesses, long-term illnesses, especially MS. And that's kind of what this channel covers. So I'm going to try and make them go hand in hand, and we'll go from there and just basically see if it works or not. You know, let me know in the comments if it's something which you want, and we'll go from there. But we'll start off with the first video. Now, I want to sort of start at the beginning, which is, you know, you're kind of like, right, that's easy, Mike, but how do I get the form? You know, so I'm going to go through all that with you. So stay where you are, keep watching. Hopefully we'll get the first hurdle out of the way. You'll feel a lot better about your claim, and you're kind of like, yeah, wicked, this is the way we go with this. So it's the scary part, isn't it? You know, it's like, whoa, do I start? Do I not? Yeah, definitely. So what is PIP? I've done some videos, but we'll quickly just go over it again. You know, PIP stands for Personal Independent Payment. It's money to help with extra costs, living, you know, costs of living, I should say, with if you've got a long-term condition or disability. It doesn't matter if you're working or not, because it's not means tested. So your income, savings, you know, it don't affect it at all. So it's brilliant, isn't it? So the key is, can you manage everyday activities reliably? Things like cooking, washing, moving around. If you struggle, PIP might be for you. And trust me, it's worth applying, even if you're not sure if you'll get it. Why not? That's what I did, didn't even know I'd get it. So the first step, you'd think in 2025, you'd be able to download a form online and you're like, yeah, I'll fill that in, wicked, there we go, email it back. No. It's the old way. You've got to phone the PIP claim line. I'll put the number in the description for you. But when you ring, they'll take down your basic details. Things like your name, date of birth, your address, national insurance number, GP or consultant's details, and your bank details. Because if your claim is successful, that's how they'll pay you. And that's what we want. We want successful, don't we? We do. So there's no trick questions, there's no interrogation, just admin at this point. So they don't really ask you about it. But after that call, you get a big form in the post called How Your Disability Affects You, or the PIP2 form. And that's where the real work begins. So that's where we all come together and we all sort this out together. So once you've made the call, is the sort of rough timeline. It takes about 2 weeks, which is quick for DWP, let me tell you. And then they only give you a month to return it. And you're like, you can ask for an extension if you need it for whatever reason. So don't be afraid to ask that. So once it's back, the DWP will look at it, normally send you an assessment either by phone, video, in person. And then they'll make a decision and write to you. It sounds like really quick, but it's not. Start to finish, it can take months, so don't panic if it feels slow, because it will feel slow. But to give them their due, they do text you updates now and again to tell you what your claim is. So my advice, before you make that call, have a couple of things ready. Now, I know you've already, you know, your national insurance number you're going to need, your GP details, I've mentioned these along. Prescription list, this might help later, but, you know, it's handy to note. And a notepad to write down the date you called and who you spoke to. Massive. Write down that. It's massive. So why bother? Because you want to record it Okay, I didn't note mine down at first call, and later when I was chasing it was a nightmare to remember the dates who I spoke to. So get in the habit of keeping a PIP folder, whether it's digital or on paper, it doesn't matter. From day one, just keep a record of absolutely everything that you use with the DWP. So I'll be real with you now. When I made my call, I was already nervous. I thought they'd start quizzing me about my MS, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. But actually, it was quite straightforward, to be fair. The only mistake I made when phoning was I was proper stressed and tired because I built it up, this massive thing in my head. And I rushed through it and I gave half answers and I come off the call more wound up than, I needed to be. So if I go back, I'd have waited until I had a nice quiet morning, if they ever happen anymore, but they will. So a nice quiet morning, take it slow. That's my tip when you're making the call, is just take it nice and slow. Choose a time that suits you, when you've got a bit of energy, and have someone with you for support. If no one says you can't, have someone with you sat there. So the call itself is just the door opening. It is nothing is decided there and then, so don't overthink it. The real detail comes with the form and assessment, and I will take you through those in the next episodes of this series. So I'm not going to leave you on day one. You're like, whoa, hang on. So you're at this stage right now. Congratulations, it's brilliant. You've started. And sometimes just picking up the phone is the hardest part. You're like, do I dial this number? And then you're on hold for about half hour. So there we go. So that's step one of the PIP journey. All right, in episode 2, I'll guide you through the big form which you might have and how to tackle it. Avoid overwhelm and actually put your life down on paper in a way that makes sense to the DWP. Okay, because it's not an easy process. So if you found this helpful, hit the like and subscribe, as we always say, if you haven't already, and share this with someone else who's about to start their claim. And remember, put a comment in, tell me where you are, in your journey. You might be further ahead than this, or you might be thinking about starting it. So just put a comment in, and we could all have a chat about it. And who knows, someone might be in a further position than you, and they might be able to give you advice. So never be scared to comment. I answer every single comment which I get, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find out the answer and I'll put it on the channel or on the comment. As I mentioned before, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not I'm not going to claim to be a PIP expert, but I've claimed it a few times now, and touch wood, I haven't had any issue. So I like to think that I'm pretty sturdy when it comes to these claims. So bear with me, and I just want to leave you with, right, if you haven't thought about it, have you thought about trying yoga?